The image of the British monarchy is not built on stone or gold, but on the precise, unwavering visual language of its players. When a royal man steps out of a limousine or appears on the Buckingham Palace balcony, he is not merely getting dressed. He is putting on a uniform that has been curated over 1,000 years of history. To the untrained eye, it looks like simple wealth: a nice suit, a polished shoe, a military medal. But to those inside the firm, every stitch, button, and fabric choice is a coded signal of rank, duty, and survival. There is no such thing as a casual choice in the royal wardrobe, and no one understands this better than the current monarch. King Charles III is widely regarded as one of the best-dressed men in the world, but his approach to fashion is borderline obsessive. He is a man who believes that chaos in appearance suggests chaos in leadership. Reports from Savile Row tailors and palace insiders suggest that Charles personally oversees the smallest details of the royal dress code, enforcing standards that date back to the Victorian era. He acts as the custodian of a visual tradition that separates the aristocracy from the celebrity elite. While Hollywood stars chase trends, the royal men are mandated to embody permanence. They must look timeless, as if they have stepped out of a painting from 1920 or 1890, reassuring the public that the institution remains unshaken by the modern world. But these rules are not just about vanity. They are a rigorous discipline designed to strip away individuality in favor of the institution. From the specific age a boy is allowed to wear trousers, to the exact width of a mourning coat lapel, and the non-negotiable requirement of military attire, the restrictions are tight and unforgiving. Why does the king insist on mending suits that are 30 years old? Why are young princes forbidden from wearing long pants even in winter? And what happens when a royal man tries to break the mold? Today we are examining the strict, often bizarre, and non-negotiable sartorial laws that govern the men of the House of Windsor. Number 10. The aristocratic breeching tradition. One of the most confusing sights for international observers is the vision of a young royal prince shivering on a cold Christmas morning walk to church, wearing shorts and high socks while his parents are bundled in heavy wool coats. This is not a case of parental negligence, but a strict adherence to a class marker that dates back to the 16th century. In the upper echelons of British society, and specifically within the royal family, young boys do not wear long trousers. Trousers are considered suburban, a marker of the middle class. By enforcing shorts for boys under the age of 8, the monarchy signals its separation from common trends and its adherence to old world tradition. This practice is known historically as breeching. In centuries past, young boys wore gowns until a certain age, after which they were breeched into shorts. Today, the transition from shorts to long trousers around the age of 8 is a significant rite of passage. It marks the moment a royal boy leaves the nursery stage and enters the world of young adulthood and eventual duty. We saw this clearly with Prince William and Prince Harry in the 1980s, and the tradition has been meticulously upheld with Prince George. Charles himself was subjected to this rule, and he views it as an essential lesson in discipline. One does not simply get to be a man, one must wait for the privilege. The visual impact of this rule is deliberate. It infantilizes the heir in a protective way, keeping them visually distinct from the adult men who wield power. It creates a hierarchy within the family portraits. The men in trousers command the room, while the boys in shorts are clearly subordinates in the line of succession. For Charles, maintaining this distinction is crucial. It is a visual reminder that rank is earned through time and age. When you see a royal child in shorts, you are seeing a deliberate rejection of modern egalitarian fashion in favour of a rigid, centuries-old class system. Number 9. The military uniform mandate. The relationship between the monarch and the military is the bedrock of royal authority. The king is the commander-in-chief, and as such, the men of the family are expected not just to serve, but to wear the uniform with absolute perfection. This is not a costume, it is their primary working clothes for state occasions. However, the rules surrounding who gets to wear what are a minefield of protocol and politics. A royal man cannot simply choose a uniform he likes. He must wear the uniform of the regiment he served in or holds an honorary title for, and every medal pinned to his chest must be strictly verified. This rule became a flashpoint of public tension during recent royal funerals. The public saw clearly that wearing the uniform is a privilege, not a right. When a royal man steps back from duties or is stripped of military patronages, he loses the right to wear the tunic, regardless of his past service. This creates a powerful visual distinction between the working royals and the civilians. Charles is particularly fastidious about the details of these uniforms. The placement of the sash, the shine of the buttons, and the correct sword frog are matters of state importance. A sloppy uniform is viewed as an insult to the armed forces, and by extension, the nation. For the men who remain in the fold, the pressure is immense. They must maintain a physique that fits into unforgiving tailored wool tunics, often designed decades ago. There is no vanity sizing in the household cavalry. The uniform erases the individual personality and replaces it with the symbol of the state. When Charles, William, or Edward appear in full regalia, they are no longer fathers or husbands. They are living extensions of the British military history. It is a heavy, hot, and uncomfortable burden, but it is the price of admission to the balcony. Number 8. The mourning suit protocol. Perhaps the most morbid rule in the royal fashion book is the requirement that every member of the family must travel with a complete black mourning outfit at all times. This rule was cemented into royal law in 1952, following a tragic oversight. When King George VI died, the then Princess Elizabeth was in Kenya. She had not packed a black dress. When her plane landed back in England, she could not disembark until a black dress was brought onto the aircraft, ensuring she would not be seen by the public or the press in anything other than the colour of grief. It was a lesson the family never forgot. For the royal men, this means that every tour, every vacation, and every overseas diplomatic mission includes a black suit, a black tie, and polished black shoes in the luggage, just in case. It is a grim reminder that their lives are dictated by the stability of the institution, and that death can reshape the monarchy in an instant. The black suit is a symbol of their perpetual readiness to perform the duty of chief mourner. There is no off the clock for a royal. They must be ready to pivot from celebration to national tragedy within minutes. Charles enforces this with a grim practicality. The visual continuity of the monarchy depends on the seamless transition of power, and that transition is marked by black wool. To be caught unprepared is to show a lack of foresight and respect. This rule underlines the fact that a royal man's wardrobe is not about self-expression, but about preparedness. They are dressed not for the job they want, but for the crisis that might happen. It is a somber psychological weight to carry in one's suitcase, a physical manifestation of the phrase, "The king is dead, long live the king." Number 7. The signet ring tradition. If you look closely at the hands of King Charles, you will notice a heavy gold ring on his left pinky finger. He has worn it for decades, often stacking it with his wedding band. This is the signet ring, and for the upper classes and royalty, it is far more significant than a wedding ring. Historically, the signet ring was a tool. It bore the family crest in reverse and was used to seal documents in wax. It was a signature, a stamp of authority, and a weapon of bureaucracy. Today, it is a subtle but powerful signal of lineage. While modern men might wear a wedding band on the fourth finger, the traditional royal rule is that men wear their signet ring on the pinky of their non-dominant hand. Charles is rarely seen without his, which bears the crest of the Prince of Wales, a title he held for most of his life. Even now as king, the ring remains a part of his identity. It signals that he is a man of history, connected to a long line of ancestors who used similar rings to sign treaties and execution orders. It is a piece of jewelry that says, "I belong to a dynasty." The rule extends to other men in the family, though the younger generation has been less consistent. However, for Charles, the signet ring is non-negotiable. It is a masculine piece of jewelry that balances the fine line between ornamentation and utility. In a world where men's jewelry is often frowned upon in conservative circles, the signet ring gets a pass because it is technically a tool of office. It is the one piece of flair a royal man is allowed, provided it carries the weight of his ancestor's name. Number 6. The no jeans expectation. The concept of casual Friday does not exist in the royal palaces. While the younger royals, specifically William and Harry, have been photographed in jeans during their downtime or at very specific sporting events, denim is strictly forbidden for official engagements and is generally loathed by King Charles. To the king, denim represents the ultimate surrender to Americanized, fast fashion culture. It is the uniform of the cowboy and the rebel, neither of which fits the narrative of the British gentleman. Instead of jeans, royal men are expected to wear chinos, moleskin trousers, or corduroys when they are off duty. This is the country casual look that Charles has perfected. It signals that even when they are relaxing, they are doing so within the boundaries of their class. The fabric choices are practical for the countryside, warm, durable, and natural, but they are distinctly traditional. You will almost never see Charles in blue denim. He views it as sloppy, a degradation of standards that he has fought to maintain for 70 years. This rule is about maintaining the mystique. If a king wears the same pants as a plumber or a rock star, the distance between the monarch and the subject collapses. The monarchy relies on a certain amount of theatre and separation. By rejecting the most popular fabric on earth, the royal men reinforce their status as other. They are not like us, and they are not trying to be like us. They are the landed gentry, and their trousers must reflect the land they own, not the factories of mass production. Number 5. The Balmoral Kilt Protocol. When the royal men travel north to Scotland, specifically to the Balmoral estate, the suits disappear and the kilts come out. But this is not a costume party. It is a serious diplomatic and cultural assertion. The king takes the wearing of the kilt incredibly seriously. It is a nod to the Scottish blood in the family and their role as rulers of the United Kingdom, not just England. However, there are strict rules about which tartans can be worn. The Balmoral tartan, for example, is private property of the monarch. No one else can wear it without express permission from the king. Charles is often seen in varying tartans depending on his title at the time and the location. He wears the kilt with the traditional sporran, hose, and scian dubh, a small knife tucked into the sock. This is the most aggressive and masculine of the royal outfits, recalling the warrior chieftains of the Highlands. But there is a trap here for the uninitiated. Wearing a kilt incorrectly, too long, too short, or with the wrong jacket, is seen as a mockery of Scottish culture. Charles, who loves the details of Highland dress, ensures that his sons and guests adhere to the strict geometry of the outfit. For the royal men, the kilt is also a test of comfort in one's own skin. It requires a certain confidence to pull off without looking like a tourist. It is the uniform of their private sanctuary in the Highlands, a place where they hunt, fish, and escape the press. By wearing the kilt, they are signalling that they are at home. It transforms them from London bureaucrats into Highland lairds. It is a wardrobe change that signifies a shift in mental state, from the rigid protocols of Buckingham Palace to the rugged, rain-soaked freedom of the Scottish moors. Number 4. The double-breasted suit preference. If you look at King Charles's silhouette over the last 40 years, it has barely changed. This is largely due to his absolute loyalty to the double-breasted suit. While single-breasted suits drift in and out of fashion, the double-breasted cut is Charles's armour. It is formal, authoritative, and structured. It widens the chest and hides the waist, creating a shape of power and solidity. Charles almost always wears his with a peak lapel and a ticket pocket, details that harken back to classic British tailoring of the 1930s. This preference has become a soft rule for the men around him. While William often favours the more modern single-breasted look, the double-breasted suit is the gold standard for high-stakes business. It buttons up tight, leaving little room for the shirt to show, creating a literal wall of fabric between the royal and the public. It is defensive dressing at its finest. Charles pairs these suits with a spread collar shirt and a small tight tie knot, creating a look that is mathematically precise. Why does he enforce this style on himself so rigidly? Because the double-breasted suit does not allow for slouching. You cannot wear it open without it looking messy. It forces the wearer to stand up straight, to keep the jacket buttoned, and to maintain a posture of readiness. It is a suit that demands discipline from the man wearing it. For a king who believes that duty is an endurance test, the double-breasted suit is the only logical choice. It is a uniform for a man who is never truly off duty. Number 3. The shoe mandate. You will never see the King of England in a pair of sneakers. In fact, you will rarely see him in anything other than the finest bespoke leather shoes, often from John Lobb of St. James's. The rule here is simple. Footwear must be immaculate, leather, and traditional. But Charles takes this a step further. He does not just buy expensive shoes, he keeps them forever. There are pairs of shoes in his rotation that he bought in the late 1960s. He has them resoled, patched, and polished until they are practically new creations built on old bones. This obsession with shoe maintenance is a key part of his philosophy. He despises waste. He believes that a pair of shoes only gets comfortable after a decade of wear. For the men of the royal family, this sets a high bar. They are expected to present perfectly polished footwear at all times. Scuffs are a sign of negligence. The shoes must be appropriate for the terrain, brogues for the country, Oxfords for the city, patent leather for evening wear. Mixing these up is a sartorial sin. The message sent by the king's shoes is one of longevity. In a world of disposable fashion, where shoes are glued together and thrown away after a season, the king walks in leather that has witnessed 50 years of history. It is a subtle flex of old money. New money buys new things. Old money repairs old things. By enforcing this standard, Charles is teaching the younger generation that the monarchy is about stewardship, taking care of what you have been given and making it last for the next generation. Number 2. The make, do and mend philosophy. This brings us to the most surprising and perhaps most admirable rule of King Charles, the rejection of newness. Despite being one of the wealthiest men in the world, Charles is famous for wearing suits that are patched, darned and repaired. He has an Anderson and Shepherd coat that he has been wearing since the 1980s. When it tears, he does not throw it away. He sends it to be visibly mended. He has been photographed with patches on his pockets and repairs on his lapels. This is not stinginess, it is a moral stance. Charles has been an environmentalist long before it was fashionable, and he believes that the fashion industry is a major polluter. By wearing his clothes until they literally fall apart, he is walking the walk of sustainability. He forces his staff to find artisans who can repair tweed and leather, keeping dying crafts alive. He expects the men around him to respect the craftsmanship of their clothes, not to treat them as disposable wrappers. This rule completely flips the script on what it means to be royal. Historically, royalty was about excess, wearing a dress once and discarding it. Charles has redefined royal fashion as the art of preservation. It humanizes him. It shows a man who forms an emotional attachment to his garments. It also serves as a shield against criticism of royal extravagance. How can you call him out of touch with the economic struggles of the people when he is wearing a suit that is older than the Prime Minister? It is a brilliant, authentic, and strictly enforced code of conduct. Number 1. The mourning dress code. The ultimate test of a royal man is his ability to wear mourning dress. This is the most formal daytime dress code in existence, consisting of a black or grey tailcoat, striped trousers, a waistcoat, and a stiff collar. It is the uniform of royal weddings, ascot, and garden parties. Most men look like they are wearing a rented costume in mourning dress. The royal men are expected to look as comfortable in it as they are in pajamas. This requires perfect tailoring and an understanding of the complex geometry of the outfit. Charles is the undisputed master of this look. He knows exactly how the waistcoat should sit relative to the trousers to avoid showing any shirt or belt line. He knows how to tie the tie so it arches away from the collar. He enforces the rule that the top hat must be carried or worn at a jaunty angle, never pulled down tight. The mourning dress is the visual peak of the British class system. It is an outfit that serves no practical purpose other than to display status and adherence to tradition. When the royal men line up in their tailcoats, they are creating a visual wall of establishment power. It is an aesthetic that has not changed significantly in 100 years. By enforcing this dress code, Charles is preserving the theatre of the monarchy. He understands that the public does not want a king who looks like a bank manager. They want a king who looks like a figure from a history book. The mourning dress is the final barrier against the banality of the modern world, and Charles will ensure it remains buttoned up, starched, and perfect for as long as he reigns. When we analyse these 10 rules, we realise that for the House of Windsor, fashion is not about looking good, it is about looking permanent. In an era where governments fall, borders change, and technology rewrites human behaviour every decade, the monarchy survives by being the one thing that stays the same. King Charles understands this better than anyone. His obsession with patched elbows, specific military toggles, and the width of a lapel is his way of holding on to the threads of history, quite literally. These clothes are a uniform of survival. They tell the world that the wearer is not an individual with personal whims, but a servant of a 1,000-year-old institution. The restrictions, the lack of jeans, the refusal to wear shorts after age 8, the mandatory mourning suits, strip away the freedom of the man to protect the image of the king. It is a golden cage, lined with silk and tweed, but a cage nonetheless. Charles has spent 70 years perfecting his performance within these constraints, and now he demands the same of his heirs. Do you think these strict protocols are necessary to maintain the mystery of the crown, or are they just the eccentric habits of an out-of-touch aristocracy? Does the make do and mend philosophy make you respect Charles more, or does it feel like a performance? I'd love to read your perspective on this in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the psychology of royal fashion, hitting the like button helps us uncover more stories like this. And for more investigations into the hidden rules of the British monarchy, make sure you're subscribed. We have a video coming up on the specific protocols royal women must follow that you won't want to miss. I'll see you in the next one.